I've got a funny feeling about South Africa this year. It's somewhere between the kind of funny feeling I get when I see a really nice yogurt on special offer and the funny feeling I get when I look at this photo of Tommy Bowe. For all their politics and the 2 years of trauma, for about a year now, I haven't been able to get the image of Sia Khaleesi lifting the Rugby World Cup out of my head. At all. This can make a few situations very awkward, trust me. So, the Springboks kicked off their 2019 campaign this weekend without many of their stars, including their glorious leader and their iconic Lego fluff ball. And yet, they took apart the Wallabies with minimal faff. So, in order to get into how they did this, I want to break down a handful of key plays that showcase just how the Springboks attacked the game, and a few big moments for Australia as well, as I'm doing a full video on them later, so it's going to be a bit more leaning towards their opposition, but it's cool, you get it. A lot of plaudits on Saturday went to debutant scrum half and Scarlet's legend Herschel Yankees, and understandably so. His second try is the catchier of the two, but really it's all thanks to Dane haylett-petty doing his best to suggest that all Aussie wing fullbacks have the intellect and human understanding of a frustrated lemon. A stupid counter-ruck, and Yankees, who clearly learned a lot from his week with Mike Phillips, is sharp enough to dart down the blind side and squeeze in the corner. Perhaps more impressive though was his first try. It's a great turnover thanks to Francois' low body position, and Yankees sweeps it away right away. From there, the key to playing off turnover is always to get it away from the breakdown, and 3 players in a row show impressive hands, most notably the Beast himself, and then the sheer pace of Nkosi to break away. Yankees' support line is then near perfect, sprinting in near to Nkosi whilst holding his depth so the pass doesn't have to be pinpoint. From there, it's a simple walk-in, but it's great rugby to get there in the first place. However, the try I really want to talk about was scored by someone who perhaps has a few more digits to write in his medical form than Yankees. Though it was eventually solidly finished by Lou De Jager, and it involved an audacious chip from Peter Steph du Toit, it's neither of those moments I want to focus on, because the break that gave us both of these moments was a precision-engineered, pre-planned move, and one of the best signs we've seen so far of the innovation Rassie Erasmus has tucked away, ready for the World Cup. This is a two-phase move. With the scrum being so near the wing, the Wallabies move Reece Hodge infield rather than having him out covering the blindside wing as he would were the scrum any further infield. This leaves Bernard Foley in the 10 channel as the furthest most Australian. After all, there's no space that side for South Africa to attack off the scrum, so there's no need for them to cover it. It makes more sense for big boy Hodgkins to be in field to help contain any physical threats that come down the middle. So, right off the base, South Africa send Jesse Creel straight at Foley's inside shoulder. Helonte Mapimpi then follow in immediately to clear out with Elstad following suit, ensuring incredibly quick ball. Now, this is the clever bit. Australia have no winger in position. With the crash ball and the clear out happening so quickly, the front row are still tied into the scrum, and yet they're the only Wallabies on the far extreme, and they're both offside and preoccupied. Rodder and Hooper work really hard to cover either side of the ruck itself, but they miss the Hodge-shaped hole right where the scrum should be. So South Africa fire it right back from whence it came, where the Wallabies have left a huge hole every player assumes someone else would fill. This isn't even a misread or a mistake by any of the Australian players. They're filling their set jobs. It's just excellent manipulation of the opposition by the Boks. Du Toit then holds his position. He times his run wonderfully when he sees the quick ball is generated. From there, he's in the clear, and it's just sheer rugbying that gets them over the line. Australia did get a couple of tries themselves. Their first through haylett-petty came from the decision to kick for the further away touchline. Whilst the forwards were mauling, Banks and haylett-petty, their two best aerial operators, now twat faces off hanging around a different kind of right wing, went to stand out on the touchline, making it look like they were setting for a cross kick. However, this neat offload by Karevi allowed Australia to skip the ruck and just get the ball wide right away before South Africa can set. It's then a great finish by haylett-petty, which is entirely typical of him because he's a really good finisher. That offload is actually extremely similar to what opened the space for the Wallabies' second try. Tamua's extra wriggle just adjusts the offside line, making the Springboks retreat a few inches, but as they're doing that, the ball is off the ground, into Genia's hands, and out of Genia's hands, and Kurtley Beale is almost out of sight. He then does exactly what Karevi didn't do in the first half and delivers the offload to Foley. Because much as South Africa looked the better team for pretty much the entire game, Australia's individuals still had enough to break them down. Their question over the rest of this Rugby Championship is whether they can manage to get into being a team that can cause headaches as well as a group of players. And for South Africa, next week they're bringing back the heavy hitters in an effort to repeat their heroic win from last year and give a few more people this same funny feeling. I have nothing to say to you. other than thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're having a lovely day. And there are probably various things floating around on the outskirts of me right now, to my side, below me. Maybe you're interested in them. That's great. Maybe you want to check some of them in the description and have a look at that. That'd be great. Otherwise, I have nothing to say to you. Thank you and goodbye.